Okay.
All right, let's do it. Let's see.
Ooh, I also have a piece of paper.
What would you like me to pull up?
Your laser.
That's all? No need any Tableau stuff?
No, I have it all.
Okay, perfect. Yep.
What's up, Mara? What's up?
Nothing. Can
Okay.
I stay here?
No, I have a meeting. We're having a meeting. Sorry. Will you shut my door on your way out too, please? Will you shut my door on your way out?
Yeah.
See you, bud. I'll see you on Monday, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so first off, nice job on your laser. It was really solid.
Oh, thank you.
Second thing that I was super stoked about, I pulled some data from like last year and looked at your data. So this is Maddie's data from last year, which I know you said you looked at, and then this is your data.
Yep.
And on IA1, last year they scored higher than this year, right? And then the parentheses is going to be K and DLA.
Yep.
Okay. On IA2 last year, we went down almost 9%, and K and DLA went down 11.
Mhm.
This year, K and DLA went down 9 still. We only went down 6. So that's pretty huge, because this is a really, really hard IA, which I know we have talked about.
Yeah.
But like, that's huge, man. So like, props to you, because 46% on this IA is like massive.
Sweet.
Okay, so like, good work on that. And I know it's not like, you look at 46 and you're like, oh, we went down from 52, but like, compared to the other drops that we're seeing across the board, like, 6% is not much, so.
Yep.
Good work.
Thank you.
That's exciting. So then thinking about that and looking at your laser, just kind of walk me through real quick, like what you saw, like some successes with compared to what you've been doing and like what you've been doing in class, and then those areas of improvement too.
Yeah, so the biggest success was definitely with IOD 404. I don't have the data pulled up in front of me, but that was one of the power standards from the last unit. And
Interpolation and extrapolation.
yeah, and they did pretty well. I don't have the numbers on Illuminate right now, but it was significantly better than what it was on the test before, which is good because that was one of the things that I was hitting. 501, SIN 501, as far as things that went well, understanding a complex experimental design. I didn't spend as much time on that as I did on IOD 404, but there was a day or two where I would cover that. And they did reasonably well on it. But obviously, like, that's never the part that we actually focus on.
Right,
So, the bigger things that I noticed is as I was using my laser from last time, the same areas of improvement from IA1 are there for IA2 as well. So, and I didn't touch, like, I tried to hit SIN 502, but I hit it about as much as SIN 501, which I'm guessing is probably just based off the question difficulty. And I didn't touch on IOD 503 at all yet.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I didn't see any growth there, because I didn't teach it.
Okay, yeah, for sure. Did you, because I thought we talked about IOD 304, which is like the more simple version of that? Was that, or that might have been Kaplan too, I don't remember.
I think we were probably talking about 404, if we did.
Let's see, I have it in here at some point. And I know you and I haven't actually met and talked about this in a while, but anyway, yeah, so we talked, oh, yeah, that is Kaplan.
You guessed it.
That's why. So IOD 304, the lower version of this, right, is, oh yeah, I knew we talked about it at one point, right?
We did.
So it is the lower version of that, right? And that's what we had talked about after the pre.
Okay.
Not like that is a huge deal or anything, but, so on the pre-test, they did have a 47% on that one. And so on this one, what was it? I think I pulled it out. It was 40.
As well.
I think it was like a 40 or something like that, with the 3 questions added up to something like that. Does that sound about right? Because I think on number 15 they got a 42. It was around a 30-ish.
Yeah, I know, like, the thing that I was looking at when I was going through the laser too was what number question was that as well,
Right.
Because that becomes the bigger thing after a while.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can find this by
If you
be
go
able to
there
pull
and
this
change
in
it to
just-
percent,
Oh, it's 2%.
show as instead of number of students. Percentage. It's supposed to be a submit, but
It's giving me the wrong quiz. It's my bad. All right, keep going as I find this.
all right, no worries. I thought it was really good that you pulled out 503. For two reasons. Number one, we see that a lot consistently, like from freshman to junior year, right?
Yep.
That's a standard that like I'm literally going to be teaching on Monday when we get back, right? Like it's just a standard that continually comes up. It's also something that comes up like although it comes up regularly, it also comes up like within a test, it'll come up like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's definitely something they need to do. And it also goes pretty well with what you were saying over here of like interpolation and extrapolation. Like if you can read the trend correctly, you can usually do interpolation and extrapolation, right? Which is pretty cool. Yeah, let's see what we got.
Yeah, let's check the exact number so we can see it. But yeah, that was the exact rationale that I used too, because you'll see, or no, it was EMI 502. Was like that was the most missed one, but like 32, 40.
Yeah.
Okay. They didn't do great on these, but some of them got to question 24.
Yeah.
All of them got to 18, so that was a better indicator. The only ones that I was pretty sure of were like, okay, you're still struggling.
Yeah, so like if you go right down, it's right there, it's 39.4%, right? Which like overall not awesome, but again you've got a 33 in there, which they probably didn't get to.
Yeah.
So
I mean, even then, it's not great. It'd still be in the low 40s, but yeah.
will you look up SIN 501 real quick and just see what your percentage was?
SIN 501. We're sitting at a 52.7. That's pretty good. Those were all early in the test, so those should be real answers as well.
Yep. And then ID 404.
ID 404 was at a 53.2.
Okay. Cool. Pretty good. All right. So thinking about those low standards, SIN 502 and IOD 503, which one do you think is like the biggest leverage for you going from IA2 to IA3? Do you think it's going to be the predicting results, or do you think it's going to be like looking at variables and trends?
It's probably going to be predicting results. Yeah, it's going to be predicting results because as we were doing IA3 yesterday, there were a bunch of them where it was like, okay, look at a graph, see what's about to happen. It is based off the trend, which is like, well, I'm having trouble splitting those up. But predicting what's going to happen was a bigger part than just being like, oh, what did you notice here? Is it going up or is it going down?
Okay.
They were asking for exact values.
Okay. So thinking about that, like, I agree. I also want to look at just this overview real quick.
Literally
like,
where I was going to.
So looking at IA3 and just looking at everything that's in there and comparing them all. But I definitely agree with you that like that predicting results is huge. So let's see, IA3, we've got, there we go, sorry.
Yeah, you and I
Oh,
both got
same
everything. As you were asking the question, I was like trying to pull it. Like, oh, where do I actually go with this? Let's see. IOD 503.
Okay, so it's kind of like,
Those wind together a lot too. I was noticing this when I was going through Maddie's old stuff, but like she immediately started the difference between IA1 and IA2. They seemed about as difficult as each other, but you would get like the double y-axis graphs and stuff like that. And I think that like a lesson like that is going to function for both of these as well.
yeah, I agree. Because then if you're reading the trend, you're going to be able to predict the results from it, right?
Exactly.
Now, so the trick is with that, what you taught this time around with the 404, anytime you get a data table or a graph, like on this one, where we were talking about like, oh, well, you have to extrapolate out to 2002 or whatever, right? That's going to be extrapolation. And it's super similar to 502, SIN 502, but this is when you're going to get like,
Increasing and decreasing stuff?
no, it's going to give you more of like this, where it actually sort of like describes it more in words. Like, so I bet if you look at this, I bet this is an SIN 502, whereas like if you actually had to choose a number, is it?
You literally guessed it.
If you had to choose a number, so like if it said, in 1991, how many Pirachu were there, right?
Mhm.
In the wet season, you would have to say, okay, somewhere between 42 and 45, you would select like 43 as
Right.
your answer, as
Okay.
opposed to like more than, less than, right?
So correct me if I'm wrong then, these are asking the same questions, it's just that one of them's gonna have a more specific answer than the other.
If it's a data answer, it's gonna be the IOD. If it's like a descriptive answer, it's gonna be yes.
Okay, so I got it.
They're asking the same.
It's the same question, different answer. Alright.
Anyway, that's just like the small different nuances between them. Not that that matters too much. But, so looking at this one, right? I wanna just kind of push us to do trends, and I wanna do that for two reasons.
Okay.
Number one, you're gonna have 4 questions on this next IA. There are also going to be 4 more questions on the post-test, which we don't know, but I'm telling you.
I was gonna say, I didn't know that, okay, good to know.
And so it's not gonna go away. It's also a really good one it's a really good way to start pulling in some of that other ones, which you said down here, you were like, oh, well, I want to, what did you say?
I'm assuming
This one, it's the one where you were like, well, they just need to know how to correctly interpret figure, right? I think that's awesome that you pulled that up, because like, if they can't do the figure, they can't do the
any of them.
right? But this will,
More
if
questions.
you do the trends, you'll be able to look at the figure, do this one, and then do the trends as well, and you'll be able to hit 2 birds with one stone.
So would it make sense in that case to like start with SAM 502 and then scoot over to IOD 508?
I think you should do it the other way. I think you should, well, and you can do it either way you want. I would do it 503 and then 502.
Okay, okay.
That's what I would do personally, because it's easier for students to like look at data and be like, oh yes, this is what's happening here.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next one is like, okay, well, what's happening in between? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I got it. Because it's
That's
more of a
the-
pinpointed
that's-
answer, correct?
Exactly.
Yeah, alright.
Exactly. So, you okay with doing that?
Yeah.
Going 502? Or
That
50,
works.
sorry, IOD 503?
Yes.
Okay. So, I love that you like started your reteach. I thought you had some killer stuff in there. So let's just skip down to that and let's look at your reteach that you threw in there. Cool. And just for future reference, you don't have to do this on your own when you're doing your laser if you don't want to. That's something that we're like technically doing together. I
Gotcha.
love that you did it, like saving us time now, but if you're worried about time and you don't feel like doing it.
Also, would it help you if I pull that up on Google Docs instead?
No, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
I created a copy of it, so it's fine.
Gotcha.
Okay, so walk me through what your thought was with this reteach so far.
Starting with 502.
No, we're just gonna worry about that one.
Okay, just worry about IOD
Mhm.
503. Okay, let's, I can do exactly where I was with this. I think like beyond, there was the one graph that like it messed up both of the questions because they couldn't read it. But on a table like this where they definitely read it, let's see.
Are you talking about the electron table?
Yeah, the electron table, like they were just lost. They didn't know where to look, and that was because they hadn't seen a bunch of them. Let's see. Do you want me to explain just the reteach, or like also where it came from as well?
Both.
Okay. Let's start with where it came from here.
So do you wanna look at number 8, number 6?
Number 6. Let's go with number 6 here. And I'm gonna have to reread this real quick.
That's
too.
fine, take your time.
I think, looking back at this, the biggest thing was just like, I think it was attention to detail as they were going through really fast. Because if you take a look at the table here, the most common answer that they have was partially correct. So like looking at number 6, question was asking, as the temperature gradient decreases, the number of days with severe weather is going to do. And for all but one value, it does just decrease, which most of them chose. However, if you take a look at the very top part there, you can see that the days with severe weather is going to finally increase at the very end. So the bigger thing for me was like, I have them show that with arrows because it's the easiest way to mark some trend that's on there, especially on a chart like that.
So before you go into your reteach,